Hi, so for our theme and stencil project, um, the first one that I did is that I created a new background because I didn't have a lot of my pages from the past didn't have a lot of like room for me to add in more stencils, but I was able to incorporate them back in. But first, in my theme and identity, because I chose being a woman, I was able to do this little lady right here. I used the technique from the fodder chapter we read on page 89, 99, or 98, 99, and 100 of the graphite transfer. The stencil kind of fell apart after I used it because there was thin lines, but you can see before it fell apart. I used it in a few different places, so every time I used it, it got a little bit weaker. And this is just cardstock, like thin cardstock. I think that if I would have used thicker cardstock, it would have worked better. And so I did that with X-Acto knife, and then here's the one from the back. I used the developing symbols part to help me figure out what I wanted to do. So I was first able to do this little lady right here. And then I also did this one as well. I was looking back on the things that I was identifying with, and it was like nature and florals. So I kind of did this one, which is the same thing I did with just cardstock. And the inside part of the stencil that I used, you can see there's little flowers right here. That one like really fell apart, so I ended up not being able to save it to show it. But here's this one that I did. So going back, I know that we were supposed to incorporate these stencils into our older works, and I was able to do that on this page first. So the part that I cut out from this stencil, I was able to put back onto this previous page. And this page. So I took the, this page actually ended up getting ruined because the page behind it led through the Sharpie. So I was able to take the part that I cut out from this stencil and from this stencil, and I was able to glue it on right there. You can see, and I ended up using my matte Mod Podge on top of those two instead of the glossy one so that my pages wouldn't stick together. And then I also made these stencils as well because I feel like for femininity, it goes along with like nature and flowers quite a bit. So I made these stencils right here of just like this flower I found on Pinterest. And I first put that on this page in the bottom. That stencil didn't work out too well for me, if you can see right there, but I was able to take the negative shape from trying to do this and put it on the other side, and I feel like it gave it pretty good balance, at least on this piece. But because of most of my backgrounds already having a lot on them, oh yeah, you can see I tried to add one here as well. I kind of did contrasting colors for this one, and then the cardstock that I chose to use to cut, I wanted it to go on this page so it would look good. So I intentionally chose like this like salmon color and the yellow. Let's see, yeah, right there as well. I thought it would look good there. And then the same thing, I made 4 of these stencils and used this light purple color because I thought that it would look good with this particular page. trying to use like cool colors. And then I did the same thing where I used an ink, like for stamps, I used ink and I did it around the edges to give it a little bit of a distressed look. And I did it on the two opposite corners to try and make it look a little bit balanced. Yeah, but then again, I did do that was me practicing with my stencil, but this was my first initial attempt. And this one was with the technique that you showed us in the how-to with a baby wipe and watercolor. And then this one I used a baby wipe and watercolor, and then acrylic paint on a paintbrush through that stencil. Yeah.